Good morning. This is meteorologist Steve Krasnowski here from myweatherman.com. I have a Wednesday update for you. It's 9:18 on May 16th. I'm going to jump right in. This is our current observations. We're obviously clearing out of the severe weather we dealt with yesterday, where we saw some areas dealing with significant hail, high winds, and also some tornadic or maybe some scud clouds up in the Hudson Valley, specifically Ulster County. Really got walloped with some of those storms that came through yesterday. We're going to continue on the rain and dreary watch. Nothing to the extent of the severity of yesterday, but the next few days are going to be a bit of a washout. So we're going to jump in and we'll talk about what's going on, and we'll do a bit of an outlook and go from there. Switching quickly to the current radar, you can see showers, pretty light in nature, are moving into the area. A lot of the steadier activity is staying to the south. Some of it is dissipating as it approaches, as it hits a little bit more dry air. More steadier rain and activity in northeastern Pennsylvania. That should shoot off into northern or upstate New York, Albany, and such. But you can see a lot of the unsettled weather really does back down way into the Carolinas even. So we'll talk about the models in a few just to see what's going on. But definite a dreary day in the works for the area and probably the next couple of days. So let's switch over to some more fun models to look at, some more fun graphics. All right, it's tidbit time. So as you can see, here is that area of precipitation I was talking about that actually goes way further south than our area and will be affecting us over the next few days. If we put this into motion, okay, you can see that our area does in fact get pretty significant rain over the next few days. If I drew a line, see where my tool is here, my line. We're going to go right here. We're going to cut this line right here. So we're looking really at maybe Rockland County on south for the next couple of days of really just getting stuck in that kind of rain belt. And I think some of the heavier rain will stay to the west, affecting more of the New Jersey and Pennsylvania area. But I've already moved all the way to Saturday, and if I do go back, you can see between now and Saturday, this just, not significant rain and not too heavy, but just over the long duration. Right now we're into Sunday, as you can see, it affects a little bit more of the Northeast. We're just not going to have a nice couple of days. This is the GFS, and now we're going way beyond where we should even be looking on the models. But I kept going just for fun. Obviously, down here we have a pretty significant tropical system. But again, if you're looking at our models, this is May 28th. This is 2 weeks away, and if you've been paying attention to anything we have taught you over the last couple of years, it's not something to really put some stock into, but again, just something to think about as this heads right into the panhandle of Florida. This would be on Wednesday, May 30th, in the morning hours. So again, just keep an eye on it. It has been something that has been showing up on the models, so can't completely dismiss it, but being that it's 2 weeks away, we don't really want to spend too much time on it. So let's switch things up and look at a few other things. Okay, I just wanted to look at some Mediagrams just to go over visually what we might be looking at over the next few days. If you haven't looked at a Mediagram, this is just kind of plotting out the data by from our models and putting it into more quantifiable viewing. So as you can see, over the next few days, we do have our spaghetti plots kind of all sort of in line. This is sort of your average right here with the dots. We're looking over the next few days of about an inch and a half of rain, which is, again, we're not having a steady, hard rain, but definitely a nuisance rain that should be adding up over the next few days. And then, as I showed you when we continued with the models, a pretty good jump over the weekend with some more precip coming our way. You can't see it here; it's a bit cut off. I can't get the whole screen in our view. This red line is the 0Z NAM, and then this line here, this purplish color, is actually the 6Z NAM. So you can see precip kind of differs as we enter the weekend in the more latest models, and then you can see the NAM ends at 84 hours as the GFS continues. This blue one is the 0Z GFS. Here is the 6Z 6Z GFS. I have not had my coffee yet this morning. I need to have at least 2 more. And you can see again, precip rates are cutting down a bit. But again, we are expecting a pretty significant amount of rain over the next few days. A couple quick things I wanted to show before we headed off. So obviously, we'll post this in our general news section, but we'll post it also in the tropical section. Nothing going on right now, tropics-wise, besides what was shown on the advanced hours of the modeling, around 250, 260 hours, which again, we can't put too much stock in. We do have a bit of a discussion on a wave that we were looking at yesterday, which had about a 40% chance of becoming something significant, but right now looks like we might be out of the woods there, but we'll keep an eye on that. This is the precipitable water amounts right now in the atmosphere. This is current. Again, as I spoke about earlier, here is that cutoff, that Rockland County, maybe even Dutchess parts of Ulster on south. It's really going to be that battle line of who gets the most rain. And so once this line here is about the 1 inch line, and 1 inch again, it's a pretty decent amount of water available. Once we approach these numbers to the south that are a little offshore, the 1.7s, even down here the 1.8s, that's when we're starting to look at more concerns for some flash flooding, some heavier downpours in areas. Again, this isn't a rain event that's going to last 72 hours. There'll be moments where it's cloudy. There might even be a few moments where the sun's trying to peek through. And then again, 5 minutes later, you might have some of those heavier pockets of precipitation that can drop some decent rainfall. If you notice, some of the heavier pockets associated are off the coast. Some of these downpours might be tropical in nature, using some of that available moisture from the ocean. So I did want to utilize that and keep that in our report. And then one more thing I did want to show. This one's just for fun. This is a little bit about the instability. What I'm showing you here is the CAPE amounts and change over the last 3 hours. So obviously down here when you see a number like this in 1,000, and again this is a change over the last 3 hours, you could say that you probably have some activity here that is, getting a little bit strong, a little bit more significant. But overall, you can see here there's not much going on. And again, these are changes, so you're not seeing any increases in instability. And what I'm going to show you in our last picture is something from yesterday that I captured from one of our more hands-on models, a little more specific, a little more generalized for our needs. So what I'll do is show you yesterday's CAPE values and how high they were in comparison. So real quick, this is yesterday at 4 o'clock. As you can see, these are some very significant CAPE numbers, signifying some real instability and some real heavy storms that we obviously saw yesterday. So again, nothing on the horizon like that today. We're definitely kind of calming down and clearing out. And I think that'll be important to know. But again, we are definitely in a pattern over the next few days where if you have any outside events, you may really need to kind of keep it close to here to know whether or not you're going to have to cancel those, postpone them, reschedule, or be good to go. So that's really all we have today. We'll be back tomorrow to take another look at the tropics and probably adjust the current activity and see what's going on there. And we'll do another outlook for a couple weeks and go from there. This has been meteorologist Steve Krasnowski. Have a great day.